Okay. Versatile Vigilante, Young Vince, Uncle Vinny, and we got the man from behind the scenes in front of the camera.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The one and only Ducey.
Ducey, what's going on?
Ducey, what's good, my guy?
I'm chilling. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for bringing me out. Dope to let's get started.
My pleasure, bro. Cheers. And we got the man Andye behind the camera. You guys literally flip-flop roles today. The singer is behind the camera.
You were here, what, 2 months ago? 3 months ago?
It's still summer, man. Yo, time fucking flies.
Man, nuts. I remember I was taking videos behind the scenes last time I was here, and I was like, now it's opposite. But
there we go.
Yeah, it's dope.
It is dope, man.
It's like family to us now. So like we always hear, we mess with the vision. So,
appreciate it, man. No, I fuck with you guys, bro. That was I thought great interview, great meeting you guys in the first place. And definitely excited to get your interview and so, yo,
super excited.
I want to take it from the beginning, man. Talk about where you grew up, how you grew up, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, born in Toronto. I lived, I don't know if anyone knows the Cataraqui, where it was like Warden St. Clair, just like nearby Warden Station.
Okay.
I lived in the complexes, or I guess the subdivisions across from Cataraqui. I was there until like I was like 12, 13. Moved to Pickering, so I did like grade 7 and grade 8 at Pickering, and then high school. I went to Notre Dame Catholic Secondary School in Ajax. I think my love, because like I was always like, my dream was always to be a baller. I think that's like most kids' dreams when they grow up. I went to like a heavy sports school in high school. Like we had like top tier talent come out of our high school. Like we had some D1 players go from our school, so like it was like very ball focused.
Right.
I wasn't at that level. I was definitely not at that level, and I kind of realized that in high school. So kind of had like a passion for singing. I first came into the industry being an artist. Like I was actually like an artist. Like Ducey was an artist in like 2018. So I started out doing covers like back when like Instagram was like 15-second videos. So I was doing covers in that era. My first ever cover I ever did was Forever by Aaliyah. So that one, put it on Instagram, had like 500 views. It's like, oh, okay, like that's pretty cool. Like I didn't have that many followers at the time. But then I put it on Twitter and I had like 10K views. And I was like, oh shit. And mind you, like I had like, I put a black, cause like I didn't want to show my face when I was saying I was kind of like skeptical. Cause like the thing in high school, when I was in high school, is that like guys don't sing.
Facts.
Right? So like I was just like, I was scared to show that I could sing because I came from a ball perspective. So like if you come from a ball, you're kind of like that man. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? So then I was scared to show my face. So I was like, all right, let me just like hold my hand on the phone and sing. And then I had 10K views on a black screen of 15 seconds. And I was like, what the heck? Like, what's going on here? And then, you know, like that was like grade 12 times. And I was just like, yo, like, okay, like maybe people want to hear me more. So I kept doing them. And I kind of made it into like a Ducey Tuesdays. So like I would post like a cover every Tuesday. And then one of my friends was like, you gotta show your face. Like you gotta show your face. And this is like the time where like Instagram was like from 15 seconds to now 60 seconds. Right. So like, yo, you gotta do a full cover of a real song. And so I did. And the first cover I did when showing my face was Sam Smith, Stay With Me. At the time, it was like a couple hundred, and like that was like kind of like what I was getting. And then one of my friends was high school famous, so she was like really dope into, I guess, the Asian culture, and she's like, I want to repost you. I was like, okay, cool, like, you know, like kind of new into this reposting world. And she reposted it, and someone from her followers saw who was famous. She reposted it, and then the morning I get up, all I hear is ding 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 ding. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? And like it was like that for 2 days, like straight, like just viral, like it. But it was funny because it went viral in Indonesia. So like it was not viral in Canada, not viral in USA, but it was viral in Indonesia, right? So like I had all these like Indonesian fans saying, "Come to Indonesia, we love you," or like, "We love Ducey," and I was just like off of a 1 minute cover, right? And it's funny because that cover changed a lot of things for me. Because that cover was the reason why, like, you know, like I was like, okay, like maybe I should put out songs. But that cover was one of the reasons why I got to meet Jessie Reyez. I mean, I'm kind of going a little bit ahead, but like that was like, and it also was the reason why I got put onto 6 Bus. So like that same cover was seen by Jessie Reyez, and I got to meet her because of that cover. And then I also it also, that same exact video got posted on Six Buzz's main post, like about maybe just before COVID. So like imagine a cover does all that, right? It's nuts, right? So like it went from like 500 views to now I think I kind of took it off my page now, but like it was like 70, 80K views.
Wow.
Right? So like that was kind of like my thing where I was like, okay, like I think I should be like, you know, like trying to take this more serious, and like my heaviest influences were Daniel Caesar at the time. So like I was really messing with him, and like even when he came to Toronto, he did 4 shows, and I remember I bought tickets to every day except for one of them, and I just went by myself just to hear him sing. Like I really messed with like, you know, like his music, his old music, and like just this whole wave, and like it kind of inspired me to make music. So I put out my first song in I think it was 2018.
Okay.
It was called McLean Flows. So like you can probably still find it on Spotify, but it was funny because I was working with like kind of like my boys in the summertime. We were doing a basketball camp, and we worked out of a center called McLean Center in Ajax.
Okay.
And I was like, well, like if we work here at McLean Center, might call it McLean. And I'm like, oh, like I'm making flows. I was like, oh, McLean Flows. And, like I thought it was so cool. My friends were like, that's so bad. Like I was like, I thought it was cool. And then like so like that's when I kind of like started performing. I think even though I was like a great musician, I think my performances were dope. But I think people wanted to hear me live, acoustic, like a cappella. Right. They just wanted to hear my raw voice. Like they didn't care about the music. Like even though it was cool, but they really wanted to be like, no, you F the music. Like we really want to just hear you sing, right? And I was just doing performances. I got into a little bit of spoken poetry in that time, and I was just putting out singles. And then I wanted to take it to the next step. I thought like I was like, yo, like I'm in this rug. Like I was putting out like 3 singles, and people were starting to like kind of mess with me now. It's getting some traction, and I was like, I want to take my music to the next level, and I applied to the Remix Project.
Right.
And I think that was 2019, and then COVID happened, and then everything just like flipped upside down in my world. Like everything. Like there was a point where like I had something wrong with my throat, so I couldn't sing anymore. Like it was hard to speak, and maybe it was just more mental. But I wouldn't say I was depressed, but I was very like low on energy, like in the beginning of COVID, and everything just switched. And I was still in school at the time for marketing, and I was just like, do I really want to be a singer? You know, and I was seeing like what it takes. Like you can sing, but to be an artist is 2 different things.
Right.
Like being a singer and being an artist are 2 completely different things. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. And I don't think I wanted to be an artist, but I love to sing. Right? I love to be in rooms with artists and sing for them or sing with them. But I don't think I wanted to be someone that like woke up at 3 a.m. to paparazzi like shooting, like, you know, like like, and like obviously that's your dream, right? To be selling out shows. And if you're selling out shows, like you're gonna have paparazzi at your crib anytime, any point. And do you really want to have that privacy being taken away, right? So like there were so many other, and of course there was like a lot of excuses being made.
Right.
But I think like for me, I was kind of realizing like I had an educational background, and I was like, I love business, love music. Let's kind of mesh that in together.
Right.
And then from there on, it just stuck. Like I was just like, yo, like I want to be a marketer. I want to do this. I want to do that. Like I want to be an A&R. I want to be like, so like that's where kind of like I built this persona for Ducey being a manager. Me and Andye go like way back. Like we go back like maybe 10 years ago. Just being like cool, just being friends. And we were kind of like being artists at the same time at one point.
Right.
And then like when I kind of transitioned into that, it kind of just clicked, right? It was just like, you want to be a manager, I want to be an artist. We kind of meshed those in together. And yeah, that's kind of like the short form of it, but like that's kind of like how Ducey became Ducey.
Yo, that's a hell of an intro, man.
Yeah,
I had zero idea.
Yeah.
Zero idea. So you were singing first. Okay, I want to take it back to that. So when you started dropping music, and I definitely want to do a lot of the behind the scenes talk, but
yeah.
I want to uncrack this a little bit more.
Yeah.
When you started singing, did you see like a change in yourself when you started dropping the music? Like, so you said you didn't really want like the fame aspect, or that didn't appeal to you. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you were getting that a little bit, where it's like, damn, people are knowing me, it's maybe a little uncomfortable?
At that point, I don't think, like, when I was first putting out music, I thought it was cool. Um, when I was first putting out music, I think I would definitely say I was known in like the Ethiopian community. I wouldn't
Okay.
say I was known like all over the place, but definitely for like the East African community, I think like a lot of people did know that I made some sort of music, or they did see me at some point where there was a show, where there was a spoken word slam or poetry slam, or if it was just on IG. Like
Right.
people at least saw me once. There's a time when I was at Reyez and like nowhere to lie, like I was walking down the street, headphones, and someone said, "Are you Ducey?" I'm like, I don't know who this person is. I was just like, whoa, right? And like it didn't shock me at that time, but like I think I kind of liked it at a certain point. But I think when it came to being isolated a lot in COVID, I was just like, do I really want? Like I was just kind of like reevaluating a lot of stuff. But yeah, like I think I would personally say I think I kind of liked it when I was younger. I thought it was cool, right?
Right.
Like when you see your favorite artist, you kind of see, you don't see what they did before, you just see what they put out, right? You don't see how many years they put into into this industry, and I just skipped to that where they're there right now. I didn't see what they were doing before,
Right.
so that was kind of like me, like, oh, I just want to get up there, like I want to be like them, you know. So yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So you would describe yourself right now as a manager. That if you
Yeah,
had to
yeah,
put a job
yeah. If I,
title on the
if
resume.
I had to put a job title, I'd say manager. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're managing Andye currently.
Yeah.
What does a manager do? And straight up want to ask you that because I haven't had these conversations on here too much. It's usually the artist. It's usually
Yeah.
the videographer,
Yeah.
producer. Very rarely the manager. So I want to know.
Oof. A manager. There's so many different types of managers. If you manage an independent artist, you are not a manager. You are a partner with your artist. You're basically a label.
Right.
When you are, and I'm speaking on experience because Andye's currently like independent. Me and him together are the ones who pitch to blogs. We're the ones who are creating the storyboards for his music videos. We're the ones getting it mixed and mastered to different people. We're the ones who are pitching our market ideas to the DSPs like Spotify and Apple. We're the ones building his social media campaign and doing all that. So we're doing whatever a label would do, but just on a smaller scale because we don't have the funding, right? So I don't consider myself a manager when it comes to Andye. I think we're both partners in his music, right?
Right.
In a sense, like, and there's also like different managers when you get political into the industry, where it's like there's some managers who are just road managers who just travel with the artists because maybe the main manager doesn't want to, you know, come out all the time on the road or is not capable of. There are day-to-day managers.
Right.
There's business managers. So like there's a lot of definitions to a manager, but I think just the generic form of it, I think it's just someone who has some connections and has kind of believes in the same vision as the artist and fights for that dream like it's their own. Right. So like I know that's so generic to say, but like if you want to go break it into tasks, it's someone who makes sure to be on top of the artist when it comes to their social media stuff. So like we don't want to let them slip on that.
Right.
Someone who, you know, tries to go to networking events so that they can help their artists, you know, build connections for themselves. Someone who is like we're almost like assistants in a sense, like because like we work for the artist, right? We want to create their vision and bring it into life, and of course, if you're managing an artist, you believe in their vision. So we're trying to bring that vision to life together, right?
Got you.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like what I think it is.
I asked that question because there's a few reasons. One of the reasons is you clearly have a passion for music. I think that's pretty safe to say.
Yeah.
And I think it's good for people to understand that you don't necessarily need to be the one singing, rapping, you know, even creating the content necessarily to have a huge involvement in music industry and the music in general because I'm sure a lot of decisions are made together where Andye kind of hears what you have to say, or any artist you deal with, they're like, oh, that's a good point. So you are kind of influencing the content as well. So I think it's interesting for people to hear that.
I think a lot of younger, I guess, youth believe that it's only just being an artist, but they're so like I can't even think of all of them because I probably won't get to like I can't probably think of all of them at the same time. But there are, I can say over 15 other things, and there's probably way more. But just off the top of my head, I think there's at least 15 other things you can do that consider yourself to be in the music industry, right? So you don't have to be an artist. You don't have to be a rapper. You don't have to be a manager. Like you can be a publicist,
Right.
right? You can work in the publishing. You can work at a label. You can be a marketer. You can be an A&R. Like there's just so many things that you can do that affect artists and their music when it comes to the rollout or even just like their passion.
Right.
Right. There's so many.
No, it's important, man, and I think that's how you build a strong community as well. When you get smart people, passionate people involved in different sides of the game, that's huge. So, how you feel? Okay, so when you were dropping songs, people would like them.
Yeah.
You got a sense of satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get that satisfaction when you're managing? If you're not really the one that people see, how do you transition into how you get your satisfaction?
Well, it's like how I said it earlier. It's like if you manage an artist, I hope if you manage artists, you believe in their vision, right? So you kind of either help them with their vision or just kind of guide them through what they already have. Because some artists are just so technical with what they already have. You just support them. Or there's some that like know they want to sing, but just need to build that vision with you. With Andye, it was kind of like a little bit of both, where he kind of knew but didn't, and like it was kind of like where I kind of helped him, bring it, and like credits to him, like he does a lot of his directing. Like a lot of people don't know that, like he directs like his own music videos when it comes to like the storyboards, and like I give his 2 cents. He writes his own music, so like he kind of has his. And like his look as well, like he kind of has that on point.
Right.
So it makes my job a little bit easier. If I treat it like it's my own, then that's kind of like, cause like if I'm putting in ideas, like if Andye says, "Yo, let's do it this way," I'm like, I think we should do it this way. He's like, "You're right, let's do it this way." So now I'm kind of involved with the process. So when it does come up to fruition, let's say it does go platinum, it's like I help something to get platinum.
Right.
Right. So that's kind of like my satisfaction with it. And that's not just because we're boys. Like it's just like any artist that like I help with. It's like I'm contributing to the work, so I believe it's like mine as well.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's a team.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
100%. And I knew you were gonna say that. I just wanted to hear it more for the interview.
Yeah.
Because I think it's easy to get lost in like it's all about me. It's all about me.
Yeah.
A lot of people do that. I think every single person has done that at some point.
For sure.
And I like what you brought up because you're winning, he's winning. It's only gonna help us both.
Exactly. Yeah.
Huge. Is that something you like? Do you see it as? Do you see yourself as becoming kind of on the label side? Would you have other artists under you?
I don't know. I think I've only, I guess, started to like actually manage Andye in the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So like, there's obviously like been like the times where like I'm just helping him out here and there. Like I'll be in a studio session, give him a lyric or two. I'll be in his like direction board where like I'll help him with like storyboards, and like that was going on for like I'd say like 6-7 months. And then when it came to the top of the year, when he was like making some good ass music and like some label people were hearing it and they were kind of interested, he's like, okay, shit, like I really do need a manager, and it just made sense for us to work together. Yeah, I think like for me, like it's so tough because like I feel like with him, he has such a bigger vision. His energy.
Yeah.
Like, and you kind of see it with yourself. Like his energy is kind of everything.
Yeah. Very
like,
very much.
Right. Like his energy. Like when you're in a room with him, like you can hear his music and be like, "Yo, he's so dope." And then like you meet him, and he's like, "Oh, like okay, like he's the guy, right?"
I feel like not many people would say a bad thing about that.
No, yeah, 100. Like and it kind of shows, and it's not like it's something that he puts on a persona. Like he's like that, like 24/7. Like you see it like behind the scenes as well. Like he's
great guy.
You're a great guy. And like I know I steered away from the question, so like if you wanna say it again, you can, and I can answer properly. But I just want to say that piece.
No, I like that, bro. What I was asking was first, I like that you ride for your artists.
Mm-hmm.
I think as a manager, number one. But what I was saying is, and we've seen it a lot in history, music history, where a manager or a label is kind of tied to an artist and then starts building a repertoire of artists or just different people on the team.
So yeah, so that's where I was going. So basically, So yeah, I've only been doing this for like 6 or 7 months, right?
Yes.
And like kind of, or now maybe like 9 months, and I've kind of gotten to the point where people see what me and Andye are doing and kind of coming up to me and be like, hey, can you manage me?
Right.
Or like, hey, can you manage me? Or can you help me in this way? And I was just like, I'm kind of tired of doing the, yeah, I got you, just off the strength of our word and no contract, right? And like, it's still very early for me. Like saying 9 months and I'm already tired of it. Like that's kind of
Right.
weird. But like I feel like I'm at a point where maybe I do need to start a company. Maybe I do need to start a management company or a label and like kind of like start that way and kind of take it that way. And that's kind of I think the next step for me professionally is just like building that piece and like kind of protecting myself from, and not like from any artist that I work with currently, but just in general, just like building something that other greats do,
Yes.
right? And I think I want to kind of start that young because I would love to fail at 24. I would hate to fail at 30, but I would love to fail at 24 so I can be successful at 30.
Right.
Right.
You're taking it serious.
Yeah.
You wanna
Yeah.
do it the
Yeah.
right
And,
way.
yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I want to do it the right way and learn from OGs that like have taught me and kind of just like just get better. And I think this is like a next step for me to get better. Right. And I think the person that I forget his last name now, but he came to Remix, his blast manager, Victor. I don't know if you've ever seen him or anything like that.
Okay.
But he came into a remix session one time, and he was on a panel. He spoke about like his journey and what he was doing, and like instantly that like sparked me, and I was like, that's what I want to do. Like I was like I always knew what I wanted to do, but just like, or I guess I knew what direction I wanted to go into.
Right.
But like when he spoke, I'm like, that. Like that's the thing I want to do. Like that's what I like. How he did it is exactly how I want to follow it. Like that's the end goal.
What specifically?
He started, I guess, like he was co-founders with Blast when he opened up their record label called Eagles.
Blast BLXST.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like he's like kind of like the co-founder of that, and like they kind of worked that together, but like they built it in a way that like they both have ownership in it, right? So like they both kind of like split 50-50, and he's like kind of like the CEO, and then on top of that, he has his own management company. So it's like when I heard, like I never had the feeling of having a management company. I was like, oh, I'll manage a couple artists and be like, like Scooter Braun and be like, hey, like I manage like 2 big dope pop artists, cool. But then when I saw like when Victor was talking about like the shit that he was talking about, I was like, oh, this is pretty sick. Like like this is something that I would love to do, And then it kind of gave me the juice and like kind of like the momentum and confidence to be like, if someone of like his stature could do it, I can do it too. Right.
I love that.
Right. So that's kind of like where I'm at right now when it comes to label. I guess like to answer a different question for artists being on labels, or like I guess signing my artist to a label, I'm not opposed to it. I just think it has to make sense. I don't. There's nothing you can say bad about a label if the relationship's there. Yeah. Right. Of course you can hear bad things about labels because like maybe the relationship's not there, right? But like if you have leverage and you kind of build that for yourself, labels come to you. You don't go to labels, right? So they want you. So they're obviously going to provide a service that you can provide for yourself. Of course, if you have grants and a great distribution team, you can maybe go a long way with it. But of course, having a label machine in this pop industry is so much easier and so much better if you have that leverage going into these deals, because then they give you better deals, right?
Right.
So that's kind of like my stance on when it comes to, do you want artists on label, do you want to go independent? It's like, I don't mind either way. It just has to make sense.
Right. It's not a cookie cutter situation.
It's not, because every deal is different. Like there's deals where like now labels care more about a fan base than the music, where they can build your music, but they can't build your fan base like that because it takes so much longer, right? They can't buy everything, right? But they can get you to a point where your music could be good, but to have a great fan base is so much more beneficial for them.
Very true.
Right? So
where do you learn this shit, bro? Where do you learn this shit? Is it from the interviews? Is it from...
I actually don't watch interviews like quite often, honestly. Like I kind of like just learn from like being with older people. Like I was always with older people growing up. So like I was always like I was never around people my age ever. Like I was always at least 26 and above. I'm not trying to brag, but I'm just saying like like that's like who I was always around. It was always like people who were older than me, people that would give me advice. It was just like them kind of, and like I was lucky enough that the people that were older than me all were in the music industry, right? So I had firsthand like knowledge on all this stuff, and it's kind of just me building through my way, like saying talking about the remix project like that, like kind of shifted my like that's kind of like if I would say like if I had a pie of how much knowledge I had, 80% of it would go to remix, right? I think the remix project definitely helped me out a lot, and kind of like put me on this like kind of path that like kind of taught me what I need to know, right. And if I didn't, where I could go to find that answers, right? So I think I give a lot of credit to the remix project to like learn all this stuff.
Bro, I was telling you before the podcast, I had Jay-Z be in here literally a week ago, and she was literally saying the same thing about the remix project, man. So
it's life changing, and I don't want to even be cliche, but it's literally like so. Like I kind of have to go back a little bit, but it was kind of funny because I was in the remix project for 2 years now. So I was in the last round to be for an artist. So like when I told you I applied for remix, it was for artistry, but then COVID happened, and then they came up to me. One of my dogs, Ricky. He's like, "Yo, remix project happening up again. You still want to be an artist?" I was like, "Nah, but can you put me in the business program?" He's like, "No." I was like, "What?" But like, I'm not even an artist anymore. He's like, "Yeah, we're kind of filled up on spots, bro. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, do you still want to be an artist?" And I was like, "Nah." I was like, "I really don't." And he's like, "It's not like you don't know how to sing." And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "So why don't you just make tracks and sell them?" And I was like, I never thought of it like that. I was like, I never thought of like I could potentially sell these tracks later on. And I was like, all right, cool. And he's like, and then we kind of worked out where I was like being an artist there, but I can still go to like certain classes, like for the business squad. But then they also got me in a position to have an internship with Warner for marketing.
Sick.
So like their thing is like, of course, like they want you to be a participant, but their alumni program is what like a lot of people love about the remix project, because the alumni portion of it is where they have someone specifically for alumni that has job opportunities that sends out to all the people that he thinks would best fit for that job opportunity, sends it out, and then I've gotten 3 opportunities from that, but like only one of them like really went through, but like I was offered 3 opportunities, and I'm still in the program. I didn't even graduate yet, right? So like they really do look out for their people, and I think anyone who like is watching this right now that wants to aspire, and it's not only artists, it's not only managers, not only producers, it's also people who are in the fashion industry, people who are creative, like JCB is a photographer, right? Creative designers, videographers, like it's anything in the music industry realm that they provide and that they help, and it's like the one thing I like love about it's free.
Yeah, that's nuts.
So like when I was an artist, I was going into their like state of the art studio for free 3 hours a week.
Which that would be at least a couple $100.
It'd be like for per hour, like a studio now is probably like 60, like a good studio, 60, $70 an hour. So like you're saving $200 a week, plus you have the engineer there for you who does your stuff. But then you're also in a space that you are able to collaborate, because like that space is free from 2 to 8. So you can be in rooms with JZBs, you can be in rooms with people who are managers or PR specialists, and build a team.
Yeah.
Like one artist that like I'll really shout out here is Fame Holiday. I don't know if you've met him, but like I don't know if
met him, but shout out to him.
Yeah, but like I don't know if he met them there, but like from my understanding, like he met his photographer and his DJ from Remix. So
it's becoming like a community hub, bro.
But literally, and it's like it's not only year round. Like you have access to the 60. Like we're in round 17 now, so there's a whole bunch of remix rounds that you can apply for, or get help from. If like the remix fan, like if you say you're a remix fan, that holds weight, you know. And I think people are more inclined to help when you do say that, right? So there's over what? There's 50 each round times 17. I can't even do the math right now, but it's probably over what, 1,000? It's probably over 1,000. Something. Yeah, it's just a lot. Significant, right? It's a lot, and I think it's a great place to build a community for this industry for sure.
I mean, I was talking about this with other people too, where I feel like right now the Toronto scene in general is very strong, especially for young artists, people doing their thing. And shout out to someone like a group like Remix Project, man.
Yeah,
they are huge. And you know what? Another example of they're not really in front of the camera. They're what they're doing is
Yeah.
you know,
But,
behind the
I think they're
scenes.
even doing like a bigger thing where they're I guess building confidence to the younger generation, right? And like that's the most important thing.
Literally, they're a school.
Yeah, literally. Like I like when I say I graduate, like I first say I graduated from Remix.
Yeah,
Like I don't say I graduated from George Brown. I say I graduated from Remix.
that's hard.
Yeah, like because like I feel like I learned the most
Yeah,
in Remix. So when I graduate again this December, I'm like I'm a double graduate from Remix.
you put in the work, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I love that, man. That's cool as shit. And I think we need that because yeah, you can't do it all on your own.
No.
It's simple.
I don't care what anybody says. You can't do it on your own. It's just impossible. There's so many factors that like let's say if you went into your room, you're like, let's say you're in this podcast, you start singing, goes viral on TikTok. Like, oh yeah, I got viral on TikTok, but it's like, okay, how can we capitalize on that? There's people that specify in that role that can get you to that point, but you can't do it by yourself.
No, and you know what? Credit to the man Andye for that because I think he probably saw. Listen, let me focus more on this.
Mm-hmm.
I need help on this.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's more not on help, but it's just like building the team now than building it later. Because like I think any artist's worst nightmare, and from my experience, is like being so talented but not having a team. Because when labels come up to you and be like, oh yeah, like who's like the team, who's the manager, you're like, oh, it's just me. Immediate turn off. They're just like, oh, dope, and then they'll just like kind of like diffuse the conversation, right? Because like I feel like I've been in rooms where like labels are asking me like, oh, like, because like when I was like a singer, like I was getting some traction from labels and like, oh yeah, what's the team? I'm like, oh yeah, just and like me being like naive, I'm like, yeah, just me. They're like, oh, dope, okay, cool, like just let us know when the next single comes out. I'm like, oh, okay. So like it really shows that because like at the end of the day, they don't want to deal with an artist. They want to deal with a team that like they believe in. Right, that they can have full faith that like things get done, because like an artist can't wear all hats. He can't be his PR. He can't be his marketer. He can't be his manager. He has to just like the artist has to just focus on their music, right? And I think if you build that too late, you're now putting people that maybe you don't even trust like that, or maybe don't have full faith in to do the job. So you rather build that when you're young because now when you're going to these meetings you have full confidence that like he's gonna get it done, she'll get it done, this part will get right, you know what I mean? So it's like you rather build that now than wait till you're at that point, because like any artist's dream is to be famous, right? You want to get big. Well, not every artist, but majority of artists want to get to that point where labels are calling them down. You don't want to just be by yourself at that point.
Facts. And you make a good point with if you do that early, you're both kind of building it together. You
right?
both
and,
know.
And then you also, like, maybe if it doesn't work, you kind of know what you don't want and what you do need, and now you kind of look for that in the next person.
It's always better, more beneficial for you if you could start now.
100%.
It's not 100%. Even like an opinion at this point.
No, it's not. It's not. Like, it just better. Like, what? Better. Like, you don't lose anything.
No.
Because at the end of the day, if you're a manager, like, you're getting, like, if you're like worried about percentages or like money, you don't make anything. So like me getting 20% of $0 doesn't mean like I don't. You could say I'll give you all 100%. It's still $0.
Yeah. Right.
So there's no point of talking unless you're independent and you're making some stupid amount of change. Then yeah, then there's a whole different. But if you're just just starting artist and you have 1,000 views on Spotify, you get $0. So what's the point of like? You don't care about the money at that point.
It's very true, man. Might as well try a bunch of different shit out.
Might as well.
That's true. It's like that house money stage. You really have no commitments. You got no kids yet. No.
And majority of the things like we're paying, like so we're actually in negatives.
Mm-hmm. Like, 100%.
Like we're putting in our own money for this. We're not gaining anything back, or we're not recouping off of our streams.
Real shit, bro.
So like, then I think that was even one of the reasons why I kind of like took a thing, because like when I was starting out. At the time, I was only making $800 a month, and like, yo, music is expensive, and like I was scavenging for things. Like I was like just on the strength of like, oh, because he's a dope artist, let's give him a deal. Like I was paying, and like mind you, this is crazy numbers. Like, please, artists, don't think you're getting this deal, but like I was paying for videos $300. That's unheard of, and they weren't horrible music videos, but like they obviously weren't the best. But I was paying $300 for a video.
Don't let the directors hear that, by the way.
Right, all right. I was paying like $400 for a beat, and like that's still like like that's okay. And then like studio mixing, like it was costing me over $1,000, and like people were telling me, oh yeah, if you gotta be consistent. I'm like, I'm going in negative dollars.
Yo.
Like
Yo,
I like, of course, like when people say, oh, you gotta, like, if you love it, you gotta put everything. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not also dumb. I'm not going broke over this. Like I literally don't have the money to do it. You know what I mean? So like, it's like, and at the time when I was doing it, I wasn't like, I didn't have the knowledge of grants, which I think is the greatest thing for any independent artist. Grants are like heaven. They're paying you to put your music out.
Yeah.
You don't have to waste your own money anymore. Labels, you don't have to worry about labels, marketing. You have grants for that.
Grants is sick. Grants are like a loan that you don't have to pay back.
And like, as long as you can show that, oh my god. So like, I didn't have it at that time. Like, I didn't know the knowledge of it at that time, and I was like, yeah, I'm not like $900, $1,000 for a single, and like, mind you, like that's not what it is today. That was like back then. Now it's like over $3,000. Right? It's a lot, and like, yeah, it's hard. So I don't think artists or anything of that sort, when you need a manager, don't worry about it in the early stages when it comes to money, because that kind of ruin relationships. If you're not making money, don't worry about it, right? But just make sure that you're taking care of your people, and like it makes sense. Like, obviously don't say, yeah, I'll give you 60% as a manager, like, no. But it's like, be like, kind of have those conversations early enough so like when money does come, you guys are not surprised. But there's no point of fighting over percentages. There's literally no point.
Very well said, bro.
Yeah.
I love that you touched on that, man, because I think that's like one of the hidden topics in creativity.
Yeah.
To make a career doing something with your brain, where you're creating content, I didn't fuck the word content, but anything, music, art, anything.
Yeah.
Bro, you're probably not gonna make money off that for a while. Like, you need to establish yourself in the game.
Unless you are like lucky, or like you are just born into some sort of clout, fame, whatever the case may be, you are not. You're not. No. And like, it's like, I mean, people may be starting doing that now because of the TikTok. You know, I think TikTok is the greatest platform for any artist. You can build fans way faster.
Yeah.
There's just so much more people on TikTok worldwide. And I think that's the only case now that maybe it's changing a little bit now, that like, oh, like I could get lucky, just blow off TikTok. But like the common like consensus is like, yeah, you're not. It's hard.
Exactly. And you know what? It's also one of those things too, where it's like, can we say TikTok money will be sustainable? It's too early to say. It could be, but it's too early to say.
I mean, you can argue it, because it's like, if you are viral on TikTok, you're more valuable to either labels or to, when you're dropping music now, maybe you have a fan base.
You're
right?
a commodity.
Yeah, right? So like, if you're famous on TikTok and you drop music, you'll have way more than someone who doesn't have any of that. Right, so 100%. Maybe, but like, yeah, you can.
It's possible.
Yeah, but it's not the general.
No, and kind of what I was getting at too. There was this Rick Ross. I'm paraphrasing here, but he said, "Yo, I didn't make fucking $1 for years.
Yeah.
Because what you were saying, everything I had, I'm putting into this. Like, as it was, I knew I wasn't gonna get money back, and I think to accept that is an awesome thing. Because like, okay, fuck the money. Let's put it to the side right now. Let's just work."
Because like, when you say like making money, like that means you have to also recoup your expenses, and to recoup your expenses, if you're paying $3,000, like you need to at least hit like $1 million streams.
It's a lot of money, man.
Right? And it's like, that's just to recoup, not to make money. That's just to recoup.
Just make that bread back.
Yeah, it's a lot. And like, mind you, you don't want to, like, any money you make, you always want to put back into your thing. So like, you're really not making significant amount of money.
Facts.
Yeah, so that's true.
Excellent. It's excellent to put that out there, man, because it's okay.
100%,
bro.
100%, 100%. Because now we have things like grants, where like you can apply for these, and like they even pay for albums. Yeah. You can get budgets for albums. Like, you can get over 10 to 15, 20. Factor gives out 100K yearly grants.
Huge.
100K, but like, obviously those are for artists that are like in a higher tier. But like, anyone who just starts off, you can get $2,000, $3,000. Like, there's financial assistance like Unison Fund that gives out $2,500 like one-time installment fees. Imagine getting $2,500 just like there's just so many things now that like artists that start now have so much more like things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great to say too, man, because there's one side where it's like there's so many artists out, there's so much content out, music out. How is anyone gonna get noticed? Very valid, but there's also what you're saying. There's more options now than ever, bro.
Yeah.
Think about even 10 years ago compared to now. There was, and it was pretty advanced at that time. Way less options as there are now, bro. You can put a song, you can make a song, put it out, and get money for it maybe on the same fucking day.
Yeah.
Damn near. That's nuts.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, if I really wanted to, I can put out a song in a day.
That's nuts.
Crazy.
Never has that been a thing before.
No. Like obviously, like the traditional is like, oh, you got to put it in a month before to digest. But like, if you really want to, if you love a song so much that you want anybody to hear it, you can put it out in a day.
Literally.
Yeah.
And that's that side of it where it's like there's so many people out here. Yeah, it's hard to get noticed, but also it's a ton of freedom. You can do what you gotta do, man. You can really find your groove out here.
Yeah.
People don't remember if you look silly, they don't remember after a fucking day.
No, because like even for Andye, like he was like in this phase where he's like experimenting with his music, and like he, after countless hours of being in a studio, finally understands what he wants to do. It's amazing because now we get to share that to the world.
Yeah, man.
Right? We don't have to share like we care about this track, but now it's like he is and you can see it with like his passion now. It's like this is him. Like this was meant to be him. He messes with it. His passion's in it now. Like his heart's in it. Everything's going. So take the time. Like experiment. Like especially if you're young. Like mind you, I'm only 22.
Holy shit!
I'm a 99. I'm a 99.
Andye's 22 as well.
Yeah, but he's a 2000.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
bro.
like
you're fucking 22.
Yeah, we're young.
That's nuts.
So it's like when I say like experiment, like you failing at 22 is so much better than you failing at 30.
Yo, you know what? You know what's crazy, bro? I just turned 27.
Wow.
So I'm closer to 30
yeah.
than I was 20.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Nothing's changed, bro. If you are doing it now, you're gonna keep doing it. Just don't fold.
No, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? It's like
it's more about growing. Like I don't know everything, right? I'm still learning. Like I was even like I remember I was telling someone at Remix and they're like, "How do you know so much?" I was like, "Oh, like like I'm just learning." And I was like, "If I knew everything, I wouldn't be here."
Just keep going, bro.
Why?
It's fun.
Like if I knew everything, why would I be in spaces that are teaching me like I don't know everything. There's so much to learn. I'm a sponge. Like we all should be sponges. Like
real shit.
There is someone that knows more than you. Anybody in this world. There's someone that knows more than you.
Yep.
You're still a sponge.
It's true, bro. And again, I use the word freedom again. It's nice, man. It's nice.
Yeah.
There's someone that's been through this.
Yeah.
You know what that means? I can do this too.
Exactly.
Real shit.
Yeah.
Real shit, bro. So, you like manager life?
Yeah, it's more peaceful. I feel like even with Andye, like he, of course, he loves like the attention, but like you can start to see like it kind of like slowly, like it's like okay, like whoa, like I gotta push back because like he's getting like love from like his home country. He's getting love from like people around the city, and it's kind of like I wouldn't say it's a lot right now because God forbid, not God forbid, but I mean like. Imagine what's gonna happen in like 2-3 years. Like if he does,
busyness is a blessing, bro.
Right. But yeah, I think like I love the manager life, like, cause like realistically, like if he, well, not if when he blows up, no one cares about the manager, unless you're a manager that puts yourself out there, like a Scooter Braun, or like those are like kind of like the more known.
What do
managers.
You think of that style?
I mean, I think. Like managers who don't have anything to say yet, I feel like Scooter Braun is like kind of like that top, like when you look at like managers,
he's the top of the chain,
right? Yeah. Like he has something to say, like he has something to teach younger managers or younger people in the industry, and have that platform. Go ahead, right? But like someone like me, like what am I supposed to talk about? You know what I mean? Like I should be humble and like learn, grow. Like the whole point of being a manager is that you're behind the scenes. You don't have to be in front. Like your privacy is still there. Like you get to go home and enjoy your family. You can go to a store and not people rampage you, like like and be like, oh my god, like you don't have that. So like it's peaceful. Like you get to have that peace. And like whenever I hear interviews, like artists like crave that. Like they love being an artist, but like they hate that their privacy is taken away. So like I don't want to have like that taken away. So like I think the manager life suits me in a sense. Like I feel like it's better. You make your money, and you just go back home and you live like with your family. I think that's the best way for me.
I feel that, bro. It's relatable. I definitely feel you on that. It's interesting that you went through the artist process to kind of get to that.
Yeah.
Very unique.
Yeah, it's a little different. I don't think a lot of people now know me as a manager, which is so funny because like if you go to like people that knew me back then, they're like, when's your music coming out? And I'm like, God, I'm fully manager, you know what I mean? So it's like people are starting to know me as just being a manager, and I love it because then like it puts on like this business hat for me where I don't have to explain to people like, oh yeah, I used to be an artist, and it's like so draining sometimes. Yeah. And like people are just like, yeah, like Ducey's the manager, like you're Andye's manager. Like, yes. Like I always love hearing Andye first because then I'm not in the spotlight anymore, and which I love.
That's how you know you're doing your job.
Right? Like, oh, like, yo, that's Andye's manager. I'm like, yes. I'm like, like, I'm being out there, but my name doesn't have to be out there, which I love.
There's this saying, I've heard it a lot with, like, referees and shit in sports, where it's like, you know a referee's good when you don't notice them. And I feel like the manager is kind of similar, where it's like, yo, shit's going well.
Yeah.
Who's the manager? Oh.
Yeah. I mean, even, like, they're, like, so, like, currently... Now, like, my favorite artist is Giveon.
Okay.
So I'm just like, yo, like, he blew up out of nowhere. Like, because there's a time where Giveon was dope and, like, a lot of people knew who he was. But then with that TikTok push,
right,
he got into a whole new global status. And I'm just in my head, I'm like, who's his manager? Right? And I'm just like, who? Mind you, it's an Ethiopian kid. Like, it's an Ethiopian guy as well. And I'm just like, what? There like, you never expect it. From Toronto. Like, I was like, what? Like, it's crazy, right? So I was just like, wow.
Ethiopian managers are taking over.
Hey, bro. Man, I'm just saying, we're going for it.
Love that, but that's real shit, bro. And I think that goes into what you're saying earlier with like being behind the scenes, the humble vibe. Like, yo, if you're a manager, you gotta sign up for the fact that I'm not gonna be the first person the girls are running to, and that's perfect.
I'm the one like when the girl's like, hey, can you take the picture? I was
sure,
like, okay.
Happily. Glad.
Great. I'm not in pictures.
Next show is
right.
2 weeks from now. Come to that.
Right.
And yo, not everyone can do that.
No.
So and just like not everyone can sing, not everyone can dance, not everyone can do that.
Yeah.
And I like to shine a spotlight on that because it's extremely valuable, man.
Appreciate that. Yeah, appreciate that for real.
It's huge, bro. Yeah. To not really want the clout, and yo, I do research before interviews, bro. I couldn't do much for you. Like
really?
There wasn't like
that's amazing.
On the IG. That. There's not a lot there.
I love that.
Most of it was because I met you already.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I know a good like intro.
Yeah.
But that's a compliment, man. Like, yo, in today's day and age, to be able to have kind of like, I don't really know what you're doing. That's huge.
I love that because like, realistically, if the money's right, I would love to just have no social medias.
Facts.
The only reason why I do have social media is because I have to have this persona up so I can connect. If I have all the connections, I'm gone. Like there's no point in me having social medias. What's the point? It just it makes me more.
Yeah. If you have everyone's phone number.
If I have all the connections, if I have all these DSPs connections, if I have the labels on me, or if I'm doing this independent stuff, but I have all the connections, why do I need social media for what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if I'm trying to be this privacy person, maybe just stick to one social media, right? Where it's just like I'm specific to one, just to share maybe memories or stuff like that. But like, I don't need social medias. You know what I mean? There's not a greater purpose for it.
I like that, bro. It's you know what? I feel like it's kind of just approaching it like it's kind of like a job. Like I'm doing this because it is helping in a way. Just like your job can help in a way, pay your bills. Do this.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it forever though. Same with the social media shit.
I agree with that. For sure. Yeah, for sure.
What would it take for you to get back in the booth, bro?
Ooh.
You see that happening?
Yeah, I've always had this vision, which is so funny, because there's so many songs that I'm on from friends that were like before COVID or just like when I was in remix. There's a song that me, Andye, and Curly are actually on. There's a song that like a friend of mine, Shar, me and her on, and they're like, "Oh, we gotta release it." I'm like, totally fine. Just make sure it says unknown. Or like this whole like I really wanted, and like I guess it's not gonna happen now because I said it. But if you ever see unknown, it's probably me. But I wanted this persona where like some sort of name that like it has no relation to me, but everything's just black. So like DP of my IG black, all art covers black. But then it's probably like old song because like again, it sounds like I don't know how to sing. Like if I went to a show right now, I'd probably kill it. Right. It was funny because I went to Jamaica this past summer, and I went with my girl and her family for her parents' wedding. Sang at the wedding.
Nice.
I sang them down to the aisle. So like it's not like I don't know how to sing or I stopped singing. I just don't. I'm not an artist.
That's interesting,
right?
Because like on here, you're very outgoing. You're very open. You know, you're down to sing at a wedding. Yeah. But you want not to be on the thing. That's interesting.
Because I just hate if someone came up to me like, "Yo, I love your music." Like, no, love me for, like what I do behind the scenes, right?
Because people to know you.
Yeah, like basically, I just want people to know me for a different reason, right? And I had this whole like it was like a whole dream where like I was like unknown, and then like I had like like M Puncho where he had a mask. Like, I had like a mask of like if it was like anything like performance, and it was just hilarious. But now I can't do it.
Yo, I already said it. Very interesting, bro.
I've already said it, so I can't do it. And like I can't because
now
I baited it out, so I can't even do it anymore. So I kind of shot myself in the foot. But yeah, so like that's the only way you could see me in the booth, or it just doesn't get listed at all. Like it just wouldn't say featured Ducey.
You're down to make the music.
I love making music. Like I love making music. I love writing, but I just hate if my name's associated with it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's so interesting, bro. I've heard that before, but I've heard that from people that are never like their face is never out there. Your face still out there. You're still doing your thing. It's
a God-given talent. Like I was born with it. Like it wasn't like I've never taken a singing lesson in my life. Andye, the same thing. Like we're like these are kind of like God-given talent. Like we never worked for this. Like so like why waste it? Like there's times I'm in studios and I'm just like singing with the beat, right? And then like I'll give a melody, and they'll take that melody because it sounds dope, right? So like there's even times where I even kind of consider being a demo artist, where like I cut up songs for artists like in the industry and then like give it to them, right? So like there's obviously like all those other things that I could do and I think would be great, but like for now like I just don't want to be the front guy. You know what I mean?
For you.
Yeah.
I like that you have that. I like that you know what you want. Mm-hmm. That's what I want. Let's go for this. Yeah. I like that, man. Yeah. That's because you never really know, so you have to have that confidence in your decisions. Yeah, and I respect it.
And who's just saying like 10 years I don't become a singer?
Exactly.
Right? It's like one thing I'll talk about is like meeting Jermaine Dupri today was just
JD,
like nuts. Like the gems that he was giving us and like the different roles that he played in the industry. Like he never planned it. It just happened because that's what just happened, right?
Yeah, he did everything.
So like who's to say that I'm not the biggest writer of all time in 5 years? Or sorry, like I don't write for the biggest artist in like 5 years. Or maybe the music does work out now. Right? Like there's like you just gotta go through like, but this is what I want to do now. Who's to say anything doesn't change? You know what I mean?
Facts. Yeah. No, I love that, man. And that's not to be the old man. I'm a little older, but I've definitely seen that, bro. Where you can literally do whatever you want to do, man.
You can change it. Like you just gotta know that if you're a jack of all trades, don't shut down any idea.
Facts.
Right. So
do something, enjoy it.
Yeah.
If you're enjoying it, keep doing it. If you're not really, switch something up.
Yeah.
That's awesome, bro. I love that type of spirit. I relate to it.
Yeah.
And it's important to keep. So shout out to you for that.
Appreciate you, man.
Real shit, bro. So coming up on an hour, last big question I had for you.
Okay.
Disagreements with your artists. Does that ever happen? And how do you deal with that?
A lot. Disagreements. There's so many things because since I come from a music background, there's things where I think might sound better, and there's things where he might think sounds better. So like we're kind of on that like, and we're both like kind of I wouldn't say aggressive, but I think we're both outspoken to the point where, cause like we're both in that same field at one point, right? So we kind of know what sounds good, what doesn't. I've kind of taken a step back just because it wasn't getting to the point where like we were fighting a lot, but I kind of realized I'm like, wait, whose dream is this? It's his, right? If he's an artist, he should have full control of what he does. And it's not like I was controlling what he was doing, but if he thinks that this song is the one, it's your dream. It's not mine. My dream is to propel your dream, right? So I kind of had to take a step back. And like I think the reason why we were having those arguments is because we were friends before being business. Okay. I think if I stepped into the business role first, I would have been like, oh, okay, do what you gotta do. I'll help you with whatever you want. But since I was kind of like his friend first, it was hard because I'm like, no, like trust me, like this is the one. He's like, no, like I want this one. So like I kind of had to like kind of take that step back myself and be like, wait, whose dream is this? It's his. All right, cool. Whatever he says, it's a go. How can we elevate that is up to like the team now. You know what I mean? Of course, he does take my critique like with consideration, but still at the end of the day, if he thinks that this is the one, it's the one. You know.
I like that, man.
Yeah.
You're a very mature guy for 22, bro.
Thank you. I
appreciate that. Nuts, man. Because I'm talking to you, I'm like, I would never guess that age.
Really?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people do say that, and I think it's because I also hanged out with a lot of older kids when I was younger.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's like one of my my close friends, growing up was like when I was like 18, 19 was 29, 30.
And they're not chilling with you because they see you as a kid. They're chilling with you because they see you as an equal.
Yeah.
And I went through that too, bro. And that's awesome, bro. That's gonna take you far, man. Because that ability to put yourself willingly to the back is huge.
No, it is huge. And like it's kind of like knowing your place, knowing your role.
Knowing your place, knowing your role.
Yeah.
That's real, man.
Yeah.
If a kid were to ask you one characteristic that is necessary for maybe either managing an artist or just being in the music industry in general, would you have one? I have one in my head.
Like a word?
Characteristic. Like, for example, for me, it would be the word patience, like the characteristic patience. What would you say?
I don't know if it's a characteristic, but I would say being open and being coachable. I think that's the one thing I've learned a lot, and just hearing it throughout the industry, just being coachable is one of the things that they love, because again, if you're young, you do not have all the answers. There's people that have more experience than you are born, right? There's people that like there's people in the industry like Jermaine Dupri has more industry experience than I've been alive.
Nuts. Right?
So it's like, who am I to say that I can't learn anything from you, right? So I think saying you're coachable is definitely one of the biggest things. I think that's like that's my coach. Being coachable.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
Very good one, man. I could see you having a fucking label or something at some point, bro.
I wish, man.
If you want. You know what? I'm going to take that back. I could see you doing what you want to do. Whatever you put your mind to, I could see you doing it, man.
I appreciate that, for real.
And I said, bro, I had JZB last week, and she spoke extremely highly of yourself and Andye.
Thank you.
You know, you're doing your thing. Hard worker.
Thank you.
You got the Vigilante stamp, bro. Whatever you need, you let me know.
Let's go.
We're touching about an hour though, man. Anything you want to promote, plug, any shows coming up for your artists? You have Andye and anyone else?
Yeah, I do also manage another artist by the name of Raheem Bray.
Okay.
He doesn't have any music out now, so it's kind of like we're gonna have to talk a little bit more. Andye is like a friend of mine, like a brother of mine, so it's like that's why we went on.
Right.
But Raheem is kind of like a passion project. So he's everything I wanted to be as an artist. So like whenever I hear him make music, I'm like, I wish I did this when I was an artist. Like this is so sick. So he's been kind of getting some looks, and like mind you, like he has no music out and still getting looks from like industry people. So we're trying to work on that, but hopefully his music does come out soon. Andye is doing his thing now. Dropped his song, "Who Is She," out everywhere.
Doing numbers.
Doing numbers. He's got a show on November 5th at Clinton's.
Yeah.
Clinton's? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what it is, right?
I'm
I don't
gonna
know
pull
where
up to
that
that
is.
actually.
Yeah, I would love to.
Great, that's a great venue. That's Bloor and Bathurst, basically. Bloor and Christie.
Oh, okay.
Great
yeah.
venue.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know where the venue was, but yeah, at Clinton's. It's gonna be a dope event, and new music is coming on the new year. So definitely excited for that. It's gonna be his pop stream, so we're definitely gonna get into that, and yeah, just be on the lookout. I mean, I know I don't really post on IG, but just I don't know, just be on the lookout. Like I love posting on stories, so hopefully you guys see it on the story.
You're gonna see some stories,
right?
stories.
Right.
Know what time it is.
Yeah, yeah.
What's your social media again?
It's Ducey, so ITSDUCEY. It's Ducey.
Excellent, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Yo,
My
I
guy.
appreciate you,
My
man.
guy,
Always
Vinny.
a pleasure. Great conversation.
Yes,
Learned
sir.
a lot.
Thank you.
I think the people will enjoy this one heavy.
Awesome.
And I wish you and the team more than the best.
Thank you, my guy.
Appreciate you, man.
Peace out,
Versatile
everyone.
Vigilante. Like, subscribe. Let's get it.
Let's go.